What's good YouTube, it's your boy Gwops and I'm back on another video, and in today's video, I'm actually going to be making a video discussing the struggles of being a college student because as someone who hates school myself, I feel like there's a lot of people out there that watch my channel and have that same mindset. And I was actually going to include high school and middle school in this video, but I feel like that there's a lot to talk about with those topics as well, so those will be getting their own separate videos. Now with college, there's a lot to talk about, so if this video gets enough support, I may do multiple parts. Now with that out of the way, let's get into the struggles of being in financial jail, college. Waking up to go to college is a struggle in and of itself. You have to wake up at the crack of dawn to go to a classroom that you don't even like anybody in or care enough about the topic of discussion. Waking up to go to college is like trying to raise the dead. You know the exact moment down to the exact time before you're going to be late to class. You have about 3 to 4 alarms that play out in 5 or 10 minute intervals, and sometimes that doesn't even help that much. How many times in a single morning are you going to snooze your alarm?
100 times?
More.
200 times?
More.
500 times?
Probably.
And then when you finally get up, you sit on the edge of the bed with your phone in your hand and you're thinking to yourself, I should just stay home. I deserve a day off. I don't need this degree. I'm actually going to be a drug dealer instead.
You want to play rough? Okay. No. Say hello to my little friend.
Going to and from college is an everyday struggle. Traffic for me is probably the worst part of going to college. Since I'm enrolled in a community college, I have to drive to and from school every other day. And traffic is the worst because I saw a stat online where the average person spends up to years of their life stuck in traffic. Not hours, not days, not weeks, not months, years. Just imagine you sitting in one spot for years with no way to escape. You're just stuck.
Stuck! I'm stuck! Stuck! God!
To the time you get up in the morning, getting in your car, and going to your destination, something always goes wrong. Somehow, some way, you get stuck in traffic at the worst times imaginable. It's like everyone in your area knows that you're going to class that day, and they all decide to take the same exact route that you're going on, regardless of if you're late or not. And if it's not that, there's always other random variables when it comes to traffic. For example, you're on a route that you always go on, and one of the roads is either under construction or it's closed off completely, which is infuriating because you barely leave the house or go on this route for anything else. Now that the roads are closed and you got 10 minutes to get to your campus and you still got 25 miles left to go, naturally you have the same driving skills as the civilians in GTA. But when you're running late to your class that you need to get to, you put your real Need for Speed skills to the test. Parking lots on college campuses is a goddamn war zone. There is never any parking spots or spots close enough to the building that you go to class at. These kids playing Fortnite and Call of Duty Warzone don't know the real meaning of a battle royale until you get to a college parking lot 10 minutes before all the classes starts and there's only 1 or 2 spots left. Normally finding parking spots come in 2 scenarios. The first one is that you get up super early or early enough so you can get your own space without any problem. And the second one is that when you're damn near late to your class and you can't find any spots close enough to the building that you have to go in, so you have to park somewhere far off the lot that you're damn near in another part of the school. And God forbid that 2 drivers actually see the same open parking spot, because that's going to be a fight to the death. Now I know what you're thinking, GwoppyTrai, why don't you actually leave the house earlier so you can get a spot? Yeah, that could work, but realistically speaking, who is actually going to get up 30 minutes earlier so they can get to a parking spot that they would normally get to in just a few moments before school? Orientation is something I think everybody hates to go to. It's sort of similar to entering a jail and meeting all the other inmates and the wardens. Orientations normally consist of you getting your class schedule, walking around campus to get a feel of the environment and all that kind of stuff. But the worst part of the whole orientation is when they actually bust out the slideshow presentations in the big auditorium. You'll be ready to doze off within seconds because mostly what they talk about is stuff that you either already know about because all other administrators told you about this stuff beforehand in emails and in one-on-one meetups. And then at the end of the presentation, you look around at some of the other newcomers to the campus like, this could have been a goddamn email, bruh. Now don't get me wrong, it's not entirely bad. Some colleges provide whole entire meals for you and provide snacks and say help yourself. And y'all know me, it doesn't matter what it is, how crazy it is, or if you want me to stay interested in what you want to talk about or listen to what you got to say. If you offer me free food, you're speaking to me on a spiritual level. Choosing classes when it comes to college is like being selected for the NBA draft. And something always seems to hit the fan when you're registering for classes. You had all this time to register for class, but you can't because the deadline has already arrived or it's already full based on the popularity of the class. And in some cases, you will actually have to let a class go depending on your weekly school and work schedule. Before I get into this one, I don't care how this is pronounced, I will always pronounce this FAFSA. FAFSA is absolutely the worst. Applying for this is like trying to go 1-on-5 against the 2015 Golden State Warriors with one hand tied behind your back, blindfolded, and you don't get anything out of it because they pretty much say so. You can be from another country, both your parents unfortunately passed away, broke as hell, and they will still deny you because you make more than $5 a year. For example, you ordered off the dollar menu before at McDonald's? Denied. You ordered a hot and ready pizza at Little Caesars? Denied. You bought 50-cent bags of chips at the corner store before? You know it, denied. Lectures for me is probably the most boring part about school and college for that matter. Them college lectures has a distinct level of boredom than any other thing else on the planet. This also relates back to middle school and high school as well, with these teachers be teaching us the same boring way their teachers taught them back in the day. Now some of these lectures waste no time and get straight to the point, and then there's other lectures where they ramble on for hours on end. And what's worse is that they hit you with a lecture early in the morning of all times. You're half asleep, you're barely getting to class, you got no food in your system, and they want to talk your head off about some malarkey that won't even matter in the real world.
Imagine how tired we are of it.
The seat that you sit in on the first day of class is the seat that you sit in for the rest of the semester. It's an unwritten universal law. Under no circumstances are you allowed to sit in one seat one day and then all of a sudden choose to sit in somebody else's seat the next day. If someone sits in your seat, they throw off the whole entire natural balance of the class. You and everybody in the class knows this hooligan took your seat, but nobody cares because they're in their seat. And the only thing you can do in these cases is throw hands with the intruder that stole your seat. Being a college student nowadays always comes back to having money or not. You are struggling to get by while you see these YouTubers with $1 million houses. NBA Youngboy, NLE Chopper, and Trippie Redd is like damn near 20 years old and they're making more than what your parents make in a year put together. Girls making OnlyFans accounts that pull in more cash than your parents' salary in the course of 10 years. Sneaker resellers are flipping 200 pair of Jordans for thousands of dollars. You see Tony Montana and Scarface had his business going on and you think to yourself, that's really not a bad idea at all. And meanwhile, you're always thinking about ways that you can secure a quick bag from school due to an accident on campus. Not anything fatal or anything permanent, but something that is enough for it to be the school's fault for you can sue them from. And since it's 2020, you can sue anybody for damn near anything nowadays. And here's a list of some of those things that you can sue people for.
Slip and fall, car accident, he stole my girl or she stole my man. Got caught cheating, but I still wanna sue though. That mother ate my lunch and it had my name on it too. Borrowed my Super Nintendo back in the day and still ain't returned it yet. Didn't follow me on Twitter. Didn't double tap my pics on Instagram and many more.
Or in other normal scenarios, it's either a wet floor with no wet floor sign, a broken chair ready to collapse under you, or if a loose ceiling tile comes and bonks you on your head. And whatever happens doesn't even need to hurt that much because your acting skills is going to be on maximum. All you want to do is get a fat check from school.
Tell them to bring me my money.
And you cannot tell me that you just be sitting there daydreaming in class about get rich quick schemes crazy in class too. You can hit the lottery, rob a bank, start your own drug business.
Jesus Christ.
And then you're like, you don't want to do anything illegal or end up in jail, so you just think that you're going to invent something. And as you're staring off into your own imagination land, your professor went over some important information that's going to be on the test or project that you just missed. Online classes are an okay option if you're actually disciplined enough to pay attention. I know when the quarantine hit and all the schools was closed, Zoom was the teacher's best friend during the middle of the winter and spring semester. And as long as you turn in all your assignments and projects, you should be good to go and be perfectly fine. For me, it was okay until they actually wanted me to participate at 9 o'clock in the morning. Some of those days, I would just wake up, don't even shower or anything, and log into the Zoom call while in my boxers, while I actually played Midnight Club 3 Double Edition Remix on my PS2 while my mic and camera phone was turned off. This is probably the longest subject to talk about in this video, but for projects, I won't touch on this too much because I want to make a whole separate video about group projects at a separate time. So do me a favor, hit that like button if you want to actually see that happen. Now, homework and projects in college is about as equivalent as trying to move from house to house in 2 to 3 days by yourself, and you only have one extra person to help you do it. Depending on what your class is and how hard the material is, it doesn't even matter because you know that you're going to wait until the last possible minute to do it anyways. Same goes for projects. And you know damn well that the teacher warned you multiple times about this assignment that it cannot be done the night before. And now fast forward into the future, it's 11:59 p.m. You're typing hella fast, not even using MLA format, and you didn't even proofread it, but you just submitted it and just hope for the very best. Alright guys, that's all I have for today's video regarding college and why I hate college and the struggles of being in college. Now, I know that there's a lot to talk about that I didn't discuss in this video, so I will eventually make a part 2 if this video gets enough support. And also, one more thing before I get out of here, my boy SushiRoll AKA Michael TM, he's actually making his own video about college since he actually dropped out of college like not too long ago and is actually focused on working right now, and he has a fair few college stories that he wants to share with you guys as well. So I'm actually going to link his video at the end of the video and also in the description down below. And with that being said, I hope you guys actually enjoyed this video. If you guys want to see a part 2 happen, hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this. But with that out of the way, this your boy Gwop. Make sure you guys like and subscribe if you're new, and I'm out, bruh.
Find your own ride down. Whoops.